I did not molest or abuse Rebekah's son. I do not know who did or if it actually was a sexual abuse. All I know is the bruising in the area, and the only other person that was around was the neighbor.
My son was with John, who took him over to his neighbor's house. And the guy he was supposedly that he had dropped him off with, I don't know him personally. I've never met the dude, but why did John drop my son off with some other guy when he was supposed to have him?
He would freak out whenever the neighbor come over. He didn't want to be, go anywhere with him or be around him, and he'd hold on to his mom, like, with a grip. And she noticed some bruising on him, and she decided she thought she didn't know what to do, so she waited, and she finally took him to the hospital.
She took him to the hospital, and then they were saying there was sexual abuse. One of the stories John gave was he was pulling on his penis every time he went to the bathroom. Just bruising that would not occur from a 3-year-old.
So they took her son from her because of that, and we've been trying to figure out what happened and fighting to get him back. They opened a case, and then they just only interviewed us one time, and then they closed the case, and she's been fighting with CPS to get her son back ever since.
CPS may not, or probably didn't call me because, as far as legally and all that, I am the father. I may not be biologically, but I was there from the moment he was born. I had my hands on him before the doctor did. Since all this stuff's happened and she had left John, her and I have been talking. We've worked our previous issues out. I find out through the grapevine that she's pregnant, and that the timing's kind of there. It's a toss-up between me and him. I don't know. She's since gave birth to our newest son.
She thinks he's the father of the baby, but Rebekah's told me more than twice that he has had a vasectomy and that he cannot have kids. So I'm not sure why he thinks he's the dad or anything like that. I want her to be back in my life with my son and for us to be a family. So that's the goal.
My biggest focus here is my other son. Finding out what happened to him, what John knows or doesn't know, and what can be done about it. If he does fail the lie detector test in that sense, that he knows something or he saw something or, God forbid, he did something, it's game on from there. I will pursue every legal option I have. I will make sure he pays for what he did.
Rebekah, your son is currently in foster care. Tell me what happened.
My son got taken from me when I took him to the ER. And yeah, I waited 2 days to take him because I didn't want them to flee from the cops if they did do something to my son.
Oh, John.
Yeah.
So you suspected John of doing something to your son. Why did you think that to begin with? I mean, you're living with John. You're in a relationship with him, right?
Because he's very controlling, and
But why would you think that he did something to your son?
Because he'd always beg me to take my son with him to work every day.
How old was your little boy at the time?
3.
3. So John would say to you, oh, can I please take him to work with me?
And give you a break.
What did he do for a living?
He did construction.
And you were pregnant at the time?
Yeah.
Why would he want to take a 3-year-old boy to a construction site?
I don't know.
I mean...
And when my son started throwing a fit and crying and screaming, I was like, no, he's not going with you. He does not want to go with you. I'm not going to force my son to go somewhere he does not want to go.
Did you ask your son, why don't you want to go anymore?
I didn't ask him, but whenever I seen the bruising on him, I asked him if somebody had hurt him.
And what did he say?
He would not tell me because I even asked him if it was the neighbor or if it was John, and he just looked down and had this look on his face like something had happened, but he couldn't tell me or didn't want to tell me. And he did tell me that he hurt down there. That was the only thing I got out of him, is he was hurting down there.
Tell me what happened at Walmart.
I went to order my son's birthday cake at Walmart. When I ordered the cake at Walmart, John went in the store with me. I left my son in the car with the neighbor, and whenever I did that, we came out of the store after about being in there for 15, 20 minutes. How well do you know the neighbor
though, at this point?
I knew him through John.
So you didn't know him well? So you leave your 3-year-old son in a car with a guy
I mean, I knew him for almost a year.
Okay. All right, but you didn't know him well?
No.
Okay.
And I come out of Walmart about 10, 15 minutes later after ordering the cake, and he's nowhere to be found.
The car's gone, your son's gone, neighbor took the car.
And I'm like, you need to call him now and figure out where he's at and where's my kid.
Were you just freaking the hell out when you come out and the car's gone?
Yeah, and then John said, he's over there at the gas station. I see his car, and I'm like, you better hope you see his car over there. And then we went over there, and his car was sitting there, and my kid's in the bathroom with the neighbor. He comes out of the bathroom sweating because the door is locked, so me and John were just standing there by the car.
Who's sweating?
The neighbor. With my son in the bathroom.
And what did you say?
I said, what's going on? And he said, well, he had an accident. He pooped his pants. And there was poop in his clothes and everything. But I feel like he took him to the bathroom and did a little bit more than...
Why didn't you just go into Walmart? Walmart has bathrooms. What is he thinking? Like, here he's a little boy with his mother every day of his life, and then all of a sudden, he gets to see her 1 hour a week. Yeah. When he sees you, what happens?
He's happy as can be. And then at first when all this happened, he would cry. He did not want to leave me, and then I would start crying, and I was like, I'm sorry, baby, but Mama's got to go to work. It's only for a little bit. I have this job, you know, but Mama's going to bring you back home soon, I promise. And
why can't you get your son back?
It's a fighting battle with CPS right now.
Did you ever question the neighbor?
One time.
One time.
And then they dropped the investigation.
And no charges filed against anybody. So, really an odd story here, right? You didn't want to come here?
No, I come here to help clear our name. The original plan was to clear our names so that we could be together.
You want to be together with her?
Yes, we did not break up in March. She just moved out 2 weeks ago. She's been with me the whole time. She just recently got with Keith again. Keith didn't come back in the picture until
Is that true?
5 months after
Have
the
you
date.
been living with them all this time?
No.
Yes, sir. I have.
When did you don't,
I
please
moved
don't
out in March, like the end of March.
No, sir.
So you're saying 2 weeks ago in September,
Yes.
she moved out.
Yes.
You're saying you moved out in March. Well, who's lying? Who's lying?
Not me.
You moved out. Why is he saying you just moved out 2 weeks ago?
I don't know. Because I've been gone longer than that. Like, I was still pregnant with my son whenever I moved out.
2 weeks before the baby was born is when she moved out.
And the baby was born a month ago.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I didn't find out she was back with Keith until recently.
Why do you think you two broke up?
We talked about it before. We knew that we was going to have to separate for her to get her son back, and we was waiting until it got close to the end.
What do you think happened to the little boy?
I'm not positive. I don't know for sure what happened to him.
You have no idea?
No, sir. I don't think.
Did you see the bruising around his private area?
No, sir. I didn't.
You didn't?
They didn't show me, and I didn't see it.
He's fine.
Why wouldn't you see it?
I didn't see it. I mean, I didn't see no.
He saw it
They didn't show me no
first and
pictures.
told me about it.
I told her about what her son was doing when he
What was he doing?
When he goes to the restroom, he would pull on his thing.
How did you know that?
Because I'm the one that took him to the restroom.
But you don't notice all the bruising that when CPS or the hospital saw it, they immediately call the police.
No, there was only, at the time.
Do you want to be a dad to the little baby?
Yes, this is
And
my
you want to be
8th son.
This be your 8th
baby,
son?
Yes.
You have 8 kids?
Yes.
What do you do for a living again?
Construction.
Construction.
Yes, sir.
How are you able to support 8 kids?
My kids, all my other ones are grown. but
Okay,
yes,
so
sir.
they're all older. So you want to be a dad all over again?
Yeah.
Well, nice.
What happened to my son? No.
Stop.
Dude, how are you going to talk about that? You talk. You want to talk big
I'm not talking
over a
shit.
text. Keyboard cowboy bitch stuff.
Stop, Keith. Stop. You do not want to go to jail, please.
I'm not worried about those two.
Okay.
Honestly, I love her to death, but I'm not worried about them. I'm worried about my son.
Yeah. What if she fails for abusing the child?
Obviously, I'm going to take my son.
Yeah. So and you won't be with her?
No.
Okay. The little baby boy, you want to be the dad?
I am the dad. Father or not, I don't care. I am the dad.
Biologically.
Biologically, I mean, if he's the father, great. He got a child support payment. Another one he ain't going to make. Who cares? I'm still going to be his dad. Always have been, always will be.
Keith, you took a a DNA test concerning the 1-month-old little boy. And you took a DNA test, and the result for that DNA test, Keith, is that you are not the father of Rebekah's 1-month-old son. John, you took a DNA test, and the results for that DNA test, John, is that you are the father of Rebekah's 1-month-old. Okay, Rebekah, you took a lie detector test. Excuse me. Did you cause those bruises to your 3-year-old son? You answered no. Did you strike your son using excessive force? You answered no. Did you witness anyone physically abuse your son? You answered no. That part of your lie detector test, all the results came back the same, and it came back that Rebekah told the truth. Did you inappropriately touch your son for your own sexual gratification? You answered no. Did you witness anyone inappropriately touch your son for their own sexual gratification? You answered no. The results of those 2 questions came back the same, and it came back that Rebekah told the truth. John took a lie detector test. We asked him, did you cause those bruises to Rebekah's 3-year-old son? He answered no. Did you strike Rebekah's son using excessive force? He answered no. Did you witness anyone physically abuse Rebekah's son? He answered no. The results for those 3 questions, they came back the same, and it came back that John told the truth. Did you inappropriately touch Rebekah's son for your own sexual gratification? He answered no. Did you witness anyone inappropriately touch Rebekah's son for their own sexual gratification? He answered no. Results came back the same, and it came back that John told the truth. You want to be a man and really concern your kid? Take a look to your right.
Oh, I have.
Okay?
I've gone and dealt with CPS every damn time.
Now you got, okay, so he called CPS. He's right?
Yeah, he got
Okay,
CPS
but guess
on me
what?
twice.
Now you got a baby with by no means are you the worst mother that have been on my stage, but you're not using your brains.
I
And you're not-
wasn't.
Yeah.
I admit that.
I
Because
know.
when I seen the bruising, I didn't really know
Okay,
what to do. It's not
start
something I ever dealt with.
using your brain and making good decisions, okay? I hope you get your son back. Good luck to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Click here to watch more Wilkos. Click here to subscribe and get a front row seat for all the action. Do you want to tell your story on the Steve Wilkos Show? Visit the link in the description to get my help.